Okay, so let's get started with the hello world in Gatsby. So first thing we're going to want to do is create a directory for our project and to initialize it with npm. So let's start with mkdir, and we're going to call it the localhost blog. And you can see my fish IntelliSense here has picked up. I've made this directory before. So mkdir, and then we're going to change into that. And then we're going to initialize a repository with npm, the npm init-y. And then we'll see we've got our bare basics for our npm project here. And we're also going to start off with git init, and we'll just add our package JSON. So we'll say git add. Sorry, I just want to get this out of the way now. I use a lot of aliases for just for productivity, and I'm lazy. So G is what I've got aliased to git. And then A would be add. So if I do git add, that would add everything, nothing specified. So git status. Okay, so git add, and then git commit. Sorry, let's do the full ones first. Do -m. See, this is one of the bad things about using aliases all the time. You forget what it's like to not use aliases. Just close it with the correct tag, and then we do git status, and we'll see we've got nothing to commit. Okay, cool. So what have we got here? So let's open up our code. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and basically that shortcut there was just for my sort of predefined list of settings for when I'm going to be doing a video with Visual Studio Code. Just have the font bumped up, and just specific extensions for use when I'm recording stuff like this. So if we take a look at our package JSON, we shouldn't have really committed it as version 1. I like to do it as version 01. So we can save that. And then really what we want to do now is add a git ignore file. So we can do that from Visual Studio Code by clicking add file here, or via the terminal. We'll do it with touch and .git ignore. So you can see my fish IntelliSense here. Because I've already made the file previously. And okay, so we're going to want to ignore things like node modules. Because it's Gatsby, we have a cache, and things like the public build directory, and things like if you're a Mac user, DS store, and yarn error log. Is that it? No, it's .log, isn't it? Just so you're not committing stuff like this to GitHub or whatever your source control provider is. This is build. This is just project dependencies, I guess. Save that, and now we can go and install things like Gatsby. We do yarn add, and here we've got my IntelliSense come again. So Gatsby, React, and React DOM. So the reason why I created the git ignore file first was because one, I don't have like a mega powerful system, so adding all of the dependencies which come with Gatsby, React, and React DOM. Basically, the source control here would get hammered. Whereas now we've just got the yarn lock file, which has been added. So we can commit these rather than the whole node modules folder, all the stuff that would come with that. So let's just get the chores out of the way before we do the rest of it. So let's do not getting it. Let's add these as add dependencies, and we'll do Control Enter to commit. Okay, so we go yarn lock, ignore, and our package JSON. So I think that one of the first things we need to do is have the magic pages folder, and we need a source folder actually for the source code. So let's use mk dir and there's a parent directory, and we're going to want to put in source and pages. So see that this has created both the source folder and the pages folder. So I think the P means parent directories as well. And we're also going to want to create our source pages.index.js for our home page. And then let's check out our home page. So basically index.js is going to be our home page, and this is where we're going to do our hello world from. So in here we want to import React. So I'm just going to type IR and then tab, because I have a lot of snippets I manage in not the settings JSON. In if you do Control-Shift-P and then say snippets, you can configure user snippets, and I have this global vs.code snippets file where I have gone through and just added lots of snippets for use in everyday coding, which I do. So import React is one of them, and we are going to want to export default. And as this is the home page, we don't really need a named export, so we're just going to have it as a return function, and we're going to use a fat arrow here, and then inside there we are going to say return, and as all good tutorials do, we're going to say hello world with the exclamation mark and save that. So now if we go to our package JSON, and we need a script, so we're not going to put in test, we're going to say dev, and we're going to close that with and we're going to call the Gatsby command and the develop. But we're also going to specify the port we want to run our code on here. I'm going to say 9988, and then you can also say open. So I think if we do double hyphen, we say port, and then double hyphen open. I think basically it's the same if we just do this. But let's make it as confusing as possible. No, I'm joking. Sorry, it's just I like to use the P and the O. Basically, the O specifies opening up your browser. So let's do that. Let's create a browser window over here. Put it in. There we go. So for moving things around in Ubuntu, it's quite nice, where you can use Shift and the super key to change windows. I've got two screens set up here, and you can also move it between up and down, which is quite good. I think for this video, this series, we're going to have stuff in split screen, just so we can see how things are. So if we do super key left, we've got a split screen, and we'll get rid of our Explorer here with Control B, and then we're going to pop open our terminal, and then we're going to move this over to the left as well, and we're going to call dev, which is our npm script we just made here. So looks like we saved them. So if we just say yarn dev, this should kick off the Gatsby develop script for port 9998 rather than 9988, and it should open up in our port over here. So saying, would you like to run it on another port? I'm just going to say, it's going to cancel out of this and put in actually 9988 rather than 998. I'm not sure if they're reserved by the system, those lower numbers, but I've always known it to be in the four digits for things like React development. So if we say yarn dev again, then we'll see Gatsby kick in. And then it's created our hello world. So with that, our hello world incantation is complete now, and we can move on with the rest of our development.